Hey folks, welcome. Nash Taters here. And today we're going to be talking about War of Divisions Final Fantasy, a strategy game recently released by Square Enix, of course. And I'm going to be doing a series on some basic information on this game. This game has tons of stuff. Like, look at all these menus, and each menu is very intricate, tons of things. It's very overwhelming for a lot of beginning players. So today, I'm going to start the first video of a series that's going to go over all these menus, and we're going to talk about every single thing in this game. Hopefully, I'll try to keep it to maybe 5 videos total. And if you watch all these 5 videos, you're going to be very equipped with knowledge to be very successful in this game. Okay? Today, we're going to be talking about resources. Now, my motto in life is this: our most valuable resource as a human being is time. So when you finally get to sit down from your work and whatnot, you want to utilize your time as best as you can. And that is be enjoying the game as much as you can. And that is also needing to do that by using your resources as efficient as possible. So during this first video, I'm going to talk about the resources in this game, and then I'm going to give you maybe my tips or some advice or just what I've been doing to try to be as efficient as possible with my resources. The first is Visuors. The game calls them Visuors. Visuors. I like to call them just gems because it's easy for me. Because I think all these gacha games, they use some sort of gem as currency to summon characters. Now, bear in mind, I don't really think or believe that this is a hero collecting game. I think it's more of like a game of try to get your favorite units and build teams around those units. I think it's kind of hard to collect every single unit in this game because it doesn't make sense actually. It's just the way the game is designed. It's kind of hard to actually collect every unit in the game. So that being said, let's talk about summoning, because in order to summon for units, you have to use these gems. And there's good and bad about this game in terms of summoning. The good part is you don't need every unit, so therefore you don't have to summon all the time. My suggestion is summon only for the units that you really want. If you like the looks of characters, then maybe go for that. If you actually like how strong or powerful characters, do some research, see which characters are ranked higher, etc., and then go after those units. Bear in mind, there are tons of elements in this game. So there's no such thing as the best attacker, the best magic damage, or the best healer or whatever. There's really, really good ones, there's decent ones, and there's not so good ones. That's pretty much it. Look at all these elements. You have so many elements. So there's no NB all attacker. If you had that unit, then that's it. You don't need anybody else. You do need other units from other elements. So bear in mind when you're actually summoning for characters or when you're planning for teams. When you summon the very first unit of that character, or excuse me, the very first copy of that character, then you can actually activate that character in your monster box. So for example, these are all the characters that I own because I have actual copy of that person, of that character. And then additional copies of that character, they turn into shards. And these are shards. And in order to increase the level of your character, you need to limit break them. Therefore, you need a certain number of shards per limit break. And what the limit breaking does is it increases their level and also increases their job cap. So I guess you could say that's another currency within the currency of the gems, indirectly. The other part of a character in increasing level is using the awakening materials. So you have spheres, rocks, and these glowing fire things. And they all correlate to the color of their element. The most important ones in this game, however, are going to be the rainbow vision spheres and the rainbow fragment of thought. These are very hard to obtain, super, super rare to get. And the rainbow vision spheres are needed for the ultra rare units, which is the highest tier units in the game in terms of rarity. And then the rainbow fragment of thoughts are used for all tiers of units. So you have ultra rare, you have super rare, and you have mega rare. So the tier system goes in terms of ultra rare, mega rare, super rare, and then rare, and then normal. But so far there's only one normal and not many rares either. I think the best terms of stats are going to obviously be in terms of how their rarity are, right? Ultra rare are going to have the best stats, and MR is going to have the less stats, but still the second best stats. SR will have the third, etc., etc. But again, your character building is limited to the resources of these rainbow spheres. So those are one thing to keep in mind. And then the mega rare ones will have their own spheres. They're called Azure Vision spheres, etc., etc. So those are going to be what I call the walls of the game. And if you're a spender, you can get those, but they're still pretty expensive. I think it's like $80. You only get like a few of them. And just to give you a heads up of how this actually works, you need 10 of these spheres to go from 5 stars to 6 stars. And that's a lot. And you also need 3 to go from limit break 4 to 5. So you need quite a bit. I think you need like 20, 25, 30-ish to maximize one UR. So that's what's going to be limiting your team building. That's why my suggestion is when you're building a team, try to only build, I don't know, 3 to 5 characters at a time to the point where you're satisfied. I think everyone says the sweet level is level 79. So the weighting materials are easier to get than the unit shards. So therefore, to hit 79, you would need a limit break of 1, 2, 3, and you need awaken 5, or excuse me, 6. Then you will hit level 79 cap max. So, but more level means more stats. So, all right. So for the gems, we talked about summoning. Let's talk about what else you can use the gems for. The next thing you can use the gems for is to buy the shards of the characters. So when you go to shop, you can buy the shards of your characters. The UR, the ultra rares, every time you buy 5 shards is 250 gems. So those are the ones usually people go for in the beginning because you always want to build a couple of powerful UR units first. And it takes 600 shards to maximize one character to level 99. That's a lot of shards. So again, in order to get to limit break 3, which will hit you level 79, you need 240. So 240 is kind of like your goal for each character. And when you do hit 79, I recommend that's actually a good point to kind of like stop for a little while and then start working on other units. But still at the same time, if you see shards available, then I'll go ahead and buy those shards for those characters. So that's my advice is only spend your gems on trying to summon for a character if it's a character that you really, really want or maybe really, really need for your team. And also try to set a budget for when you summon. My suggestion is don't go over 10,000 summons. Now it costs 2,000 gems to summon 10 times. And it's what they call a 10 pull. So you have to pull 10 times at once. And you get 10 different things out of that one pull. And it costs 2,000. So 10,000 will mean 5 pulls. Now this game does give you free 10 pulls every so often. Unless it's a limited time unit. All units in this game created for this game are built in this game. Like it's always there for you. As soon as a character is released, is in the database. It will never go away. It's going to be part of the basic summoning banner. So it will never go away. So there's no rush to summon for units every time they release a unit. So my suggestion is if you're really just waiting for limited time units and go crazy hardcore on those units, go for it. If not, each new unit they put out, it's always going to be there. So that's something to really keep in mind. And remember, you should be spending your gems to buy the shards of the units rather than just straight out summoning. Summoning is always gambling in all gacha games, but definite shard buying using your gems is more ideal because you're actually working towards your character each time you're spending your gems. And the game is fairly generous in giving you free gems. I believe like after 20 days you get 2,000, after 50 days or 30 days you get 2,000, and the game keeps a record of how many days you play the game, and then just keep rewarding you with gems. And throughout the month they also give you gems and things like that. So I mean, it's pretty generous in that sense, but it's not so generous in giving you the the what I call the wall from earlier is the awakening materials. These things are really hard to get. So if you see them, um, uh, get them, using your in-game currency, if you're going to be a free-to-play player. So, all right, the next thing we're going to talk about is gold. Gold is very important in this game. Gold can be obtained by either doing different missions in the game or farming the turtles in this game, which will be in your training. And they're called, well, it's actually called gil, but I just call them gold. And what you do is you kill turtles, and each turtle will sell for a certain amount of gold in the shops. Bear in mind, Monday through Friday, you can only farm these dungeons 3 times a day. On Saturdays and Sundays, it's unlimited. So my suggestion is go as hard as you can on Saturday and Sunday and farm for gold. And the reason being is gold is very important in this game. In your shop, every day, every 6 hours, every day, the shop refreshes and you can buy different items. A lot of items offer in terms of selling it for gold. Things like awakening materials like this, you can buy for gold. Things like for job materials, you can buy for gold. Let me see if this is still available. Okay, no, they removed it because there was a previous week they had a thing where they had the celebration of downloads. They'll give you those spheres and those rocks that we talked about, and they will sell it to you for gold. I think it's 1 million gold per rainbow sphere and 1 million gold for a rainbow rock, and that's a killer deal because gold you can easily farm, but you cannot get those things from the game itself. You can't buy them, right? This is the only other times the game really offers to you other than when you clear story mode and you get those as rewards. But again, those are limited because you can only clear the story mode one time. Those are only one-time rewards. And you're going to be constantly hungry for those spheres and rocks. So if you see them available in these type of shops, um, you know, take the opportunity and buy them. And also other things you can buy with gold would be sometimes cheap equipment. So some of these equipment you can buy. This equipment here is what they call normal equipment. So it's the basic equipment you can equip on your character. Those things they sell for gold. If you don't have that item, buy one copy. You're gonna need it. And we're gonna talk about this later, but my suggestion is certain things that they sell for gold, definitely buy. And as you're playing through the game, you're gonna realize what items are harder to farm than others. And if you see them available for gold, buy them because it's much easier for you to farm gold than to farm for these other items because they all share energy. So why not spend energy to buy gold, or excuse me, to farm gold and then just use the gold to buy the other items? That's definite, instead of a chance at a drop, right? So, and then the other thing you need gold for, of course, would be leveling up your character's abilities. These things are very expensive. And in order to go from level 1 to 20, you need about 2 million per skill. And look at all these skills. And this is just one character. So you need quite a lot of gold. So my suggestion in this game is farm gold. If you're not doing anything, farm gold. That's my suggestion. All right, the last resource, of course, is energy itself. In most games, they call it stamina, but cleverly they did in RG. So energy replenishes 1 tick every 3 minutes. So 1 energy is 3 minutes. You can also use stamina or energy potions to restore for them. You get these small ones which restores 30 energy per potion every day. I think they give you 6 per day free. And then mediums and larges they give you through either events or monthly freebies. So over time you're gonna have quite a good amount of these things. But the thing is, remember, you should be using these energies to farm gold on the weekends and then use them for events and story mode and missions. The biggest tip I could give for energy conservation is each time you rank up on your account, it fully restores your energy. So my suggestion is burn your energy farming things until you get to maybe like say 6 to 12 energy. And then I would start working on story. Because in the beginning of the game, everyone's going to try to work on their story. But story is the only thing that increases rank. And as you increase rank, it refills your energy and gives you more cap on your energy. So um, if you're playing the story mode again, for example, this one says new, right? If I beat this, it's going to give me some ranking experience. But if after I beat it for the first time and I start farming it for more materials, then it will stop giving me experience for my rank. So therefore, let's say I really need drops from this mission. Then I beat it one time, it gives me some ranking experience, but then I'm farming for more items and I'm just burning through my energy, it won't increase my rank. So the best way to utilize the ranking system is to play some story mode, rank up, full energy, use the over energy to do other things like farming for gold or farming for materials. And you're going to be needing to play story missions that you have already beat. So therefore, it will stop giving you rank. But as soon as you get to very low energy, then you can continue with the story and beating new missions for the first time, and it's going to keep giving you rank. And just keep repeating this process. Keep doing this even when you're in the higher ranking. This way, you're always conserving energy. Now, bear in mind, when you're refilling your entire energy meter after you hit the next rank, it does give you overflow of energy. But I don't like having overflow. I always like to have energy that needs to be ticking. So that way you're constantly gaining more energy. Remember, my motto is time is my most valuable resource. So I want to utilize time to my advantage. So as I have more energy that needs to be ticking, then that means I'm gaining more energy, right? Little gains means big gains in the long run. Now bear in mind, in this game, it does give you ranking experience if you do your dailies. So end of doing all your dailies, it does give you a tiny bit of experience. I don't think I noticed that it's really give you high ranks anyway, so it's like very minimal. So maybe say like 10 experience, very tiny, not enough to help you rank. Because I think it takes a couple of hundred. See if I can find that somewhere. Yeah, see, so right here cutoff is 113. So therefore it needs about maybe 300 300-ish to hit to the next rank, right? Actually 200 maybe to hit the next rank. So 10, 15 from your dailies is going to do nothing. But bear in mind, the other way to gain experience in this game that I've noticed is when you claim rewards from doing missions throughout the game. I don't recommend doing these right away. I know it's tempting. Look at this. Look at all these gems I can get for free. But it also gives you experience on your rank. Now remember, every time you get experience, it increases your rank and it's going to fulfill your energy bar. Only do this if you need you need more energy and you have the time to sit down and use that energy. If you don't, you're just going to sit there and you're wasting energy because what happens is your energy bar is full and it's not regenerating. So that could be more energy you're gaining if you, let's say, stop your playing session and you left it at 1 energy. That means it's gonna be gaining more energy as you sleep or taking a break. you want to take advantage of that. Why not, right? Because that means by the time you start playing again, you have energy ready for you to play. To some player, maybe they'll say, well, that's not that much game. But, over time, that is a lot. And try to use these as reserves, right? Why not? Like, you don't need to, remember we talked about, you don't need to summon all the time. Ideally, you want to keep about 2,000 gems in reserve. And then if you need more, you can always go to that route if you needed to, as sort of like a backup plan. It's kind of like real life, right? You have your savings account, and then maybe you have another account that you don't touch. That's just a good way of looking at it. So, anyways, I think we've gone over through the three resources, the big ones. Next time, we're going to talk about, put more emphasis on the character resources, right? We're going to talk about these. But I think for the most part, they're going to tie in with the next part of the video, which will be the shops and the Chocobo expeditions. So the next time we're going to talk about the shops, the Chocobo expeditions, and we're going to dive in a little bit more on the shop itself. And then we're probably going to finish this line. And then in the future, we're going to do these. Hopefully, they're all going to be very fast. Therefore, you don't have a large gap in doing these beginner videos. So thank you for watching my video. If you do like my content and want to support it, please subscribe. If you have tips of your own or things that you want to add, please feel free. Put them in a comment. I'm a new YouTuber, but I'm always welcoming criticisms, good or bad, of course. And go ahead and write something in the comment. And then, like I said, subscribe. And then if you do like the video and you genuinely like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video for whatever reason, just tell me why you dislike it in the comment, or instead of just disliking it. Because disliking it doesn't show me why you disliked it, right? If you really do want to support me and help me succeed, it's better that you tell me what you think is bad or whatever that you dislike, so I can improve on it. And I'm the type of person that I have a pretty thick skin, so I can take all kinds of criticism. So, anyways, until next time, take care of yourself and your family, and welcome to the game and enjoy.